All right, moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Brittany Digger, who asked me to do a Amphibia Berserk crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube once you hit the 3rd tier. Anyway, let's get started. So, like I said, Amphibia and Berserk, two, shall we say, vastly juxtaposing shows. Although you could make the argument Matt Barley, the creator of Amphibia, took some inspiration. You can clearly see the anime inspiration in a lot of his series, so you can definitely 100% see the inspiration for that. You could probably say, there is some argument you could say that Berserk also had a hand, but there was some definite anime inspirations for Amphibia. Obviously, Anne's transformation. There's also a Gundam reference when Marcy calls down Joe Sparrow. Hell, Joe Sparrow's name is a fucking reference to an anime. So, yeah. But let's see, how this story will go. So, this story begins after the end of the show with Amphibia. Marcy and Sasha are gone. They're back on Earth, and everyone. It's been years since. When I say years, it's been 2 years, and everyone's going on with their lives. But the thing of it is, something weird's going on. Something's been going wrong. Basically, what's been going on is that some of the territories on the Far East, some of the homes and villages on the far east side of Amphibia, have come under attack by an unseen force. Some kind of unknown enemy has been marching through the lands and torching and burning and killing everyone who gets in their way. Hell, they'll just destroy everything in their path. It seems like they come in, wreck everything, and leave. Now, of course, all of the races of Amphibia are united. It's a shared council now, and everyone's trying to investigate what's going on. But all they find when they arrive at these villages is just torched lands. However, they do come upon a town that was attacked but was spared. They basically say the invaders weren't like amphibians. They were more like they didn't breathe underwater. They looked more reptilian. But what stopped them and what drove them away was a person in a huge armor, a huge set of armor, and wielding a big sword. And they're like, well, what did they look like? And he said, well, we didn't see a lot of their face. We couldn't see a lot of their face, but what they could see was that the person they removed the helmet was human, and everyone's like, that has to be Sasha. That's got to be Sasha. Who said Grimes especially is in elation because his daughter has returned. His adopted daughter has returned home. And he tells because he's already believes this is Sasha, so he runs to tell the planners and says Sasha's come back, and they're thinking that means Anne and Marcy are probably here too. How'd they get here? We don't know. That the Calamity Box was destroyed. There's the power of the Calamity Box is gone, and then Yunin points out, hold on, what did they say this person looked like? They said, and he's like, it doesn't matter. They look human. What other humans could be here? And Yunin is like, yes. Let's just say a human. It could be a new human. We don't know. And also, this doesn't help with our figuring out who attacked us. You say they look reptilian. So, Yunin basically goes to Andreas, and Andreas is in the midst of his punishment. He's like, so, these guys who are attacking us, they said they look like reptiles. Do you know anything about that? And he goes, well, in the early days of Amphibia's, before the age of the core, and of my family ruling over the country, the land of Amphibia back before there were kingdoms and empires and stuff, we fell under it. We were at war. We were all like separate kingdoms, and we were at war with a continent. It was said that there was another continent out at sea, and they were reptiles, led by a powerful warlord named Commodus. And Commodus, obviously, he's a Komodo dragon. They were like basically how I kind of imagine the lizards. They're like Vikings, but monitor lizards. And they would come to Amphibia to raid and pillage and destroy. And actually, it was the first time all of the nations rallied together to fight together. And they're like, cool. Now we know who we're fighting against, but we still don't know who this person who's come is. We don't know who this other guy is. So more or less what happens is Yunin and Grimes and some of the other fighters go out to do reconnaissance on the reptiles that are arriving here on Amphibia. Well, the other half goes to look for the unknown warrior. So the planners take that up because they're thinking if it's Sasha, then Anne is here too. So they go out and they find the last known location of the warrior, and they see a fire and a person in a huge suit of armor that's wolf-like, and he's got this big sword and everything. And they're like, Sasha? Removes his helmet. And he's like, I don't know who Sasha is, but my name is Guts. And Polly's like, ew. That's a gross name. And they're like, "Who are you? How'd you get here? You're human, right?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm human. I don't know how I got here. There was a voice calling out to me in my dreams, and the next thing I know, I wake up. I'm here in your world, and I find that the people of this world are under attack. I woke up and then I see these lizards attacking a village, and in that moment, I knew what to do." And they goes, "Fight them off, kill them all." And that's what I've been doing since. So meanwhile, Grimes, Yunin, and the others are doing reconnaissance, and sure enough, it is it's not Commodus, it's his son Commodi. Great ancestor Commodi, who's restarted the raids on Amphibia, mostly because the lands in Reptilia, that's what we're calling it, Reptilia, Amphibia. Reptilia has the resources there. It's become a barren wasteland due to all the wars of all the factions. So now they're moving to Amphibia to conquer that land and colonize it. So they fall upon Yunin and Grimes and capture them. While this is going on, Guts is explaining, I don't know how I got here, but this voice said that I was needed here, so I imagine it won't send me back to my world until my job is done. And they're like, so do you come from Earth or something? He's like, I don't know what, and Sprig and Polly are trying to get all these answers, and he says, I don't know what you're talking about. I come from the Band of the Hawk. You're from another universe, another universe. How many universes are there? Damn. So, Guts goes with them to Wartwood, and at first there's a big banner saying "Welcome home, Anne," and they're like, "Ew, who's this guy?" He says, "His name's Guts." That's a gross name, so I've been told. So, Guts, more or less, like Sprig talks about Anne and all that, and he goes, she sounds like a great warrior and whatnot, and that's when word is received that Commodi's forces have captured Yunin and Grimes and are planning to execute them. And Guts is like, they won't be. And they're like, who the hell's this guy? He's like, he's here to help. So and everyone's getting ready for a war, and Guts is like, no, it'll just be me. And sure enough, Guts goes alone to face Commodi and his army, just carrying his sword, wearing his wolf armor. Arrows are raining down on him. He's just fighting through it and just hacking and slashing everyone, killing and mauling, just absolutely butchering everyone he sees in his path. He shows zero mercy to anyone who crosses him. He is just annihilating everyone in his path. So, Eventually, he does reach Komodai and tells him, I don't know what your story is, I don't know why you're doing this, but all I know is I'm going to kill you. And the two fight. Guts does kill him by, like, ripping his head in half, like, grabbing both ends of his head and just ripping it in half. And, of course, all the people of Amphibia are watching this brutal horror show, and they're like, I'm gonna throw up. Until Guts drives them off their shores and is like, good. He's like, I don't know where this, like who you people are, but you were in need and I was called here to help you. And that's when the Guardian shows up and is like, hey guys, it was me. I brought Guts here because you guys couldn't beat Komodai and his army. They were going to destroy you all, but I couldn't bring myself to bring Anne, Sasha, and Marcy here. Especially Anne. I've got plans for her. So I couldn't run the risk of getting her killed. So I found someone who could do the killing for me. And that's Guts. And as promised, I'm going to send him back home. So that's what happens. But before he does, like, Guts says, like, I don't know who Anne was, but she sounds like she may come back to you one day. Same with Marcy and Sasha. So Guts returns to his world. Everything's all fine and dandy. And there's the end. So there you go, guys. That is Guts, Berserk, the Amphibia Berserk crossover. You guys let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Once again, I'd like to thank Brittany Digger for this Patreon request. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.